Greetings to all. This is Gurleen Kaur, student of Masters in Construction Engineering and Management at CEP University. As a part of our construction project formulation and appraisal studio, a feasibility study on tall residential luxury apartments has been undertaken. Following is a compilation of work done for the same. In this presentation, I'll be discussing demand analysis, location analysis, design brief, and the target value design. Starting with the project brief, the project is located in the city of Ahmedabad in the state of Gujarat. It would be developed as the tallest residential building in the city, comprising of 87 residential units, out of which 84 units would be of 4 BHK and 3 units would be 5 BHK penthouses. The scope of the work will include construction of 3 basements and superstructure of 31 floors and 1 skip floor. It is a greenfield project with a total site area of 4091 meter square and total built up area of 41,658 meter square. The total height of the building would be 133 meters. The total project cost is estimated to be around 200 crores, out of which 70 crores is the land cost. The image on the right shows the conceptual view of the project. Demand analysis is the study and assessment of the local market conditions which would determine the current and the future demand for properties and also its value. The methodology followed was to first understand the real estate sector in India, followed by macro and micro analysis. Further, dependent and independent variables were identified based on which regression analysis has been carried out to predict the future demand. Since the project emphasizes only on catering the HIG sector, the bifurcation in the same has been considered, as per which luxury units have a unit area between 325 to 510 meter square and price range between 2 to 4 crores, and the ultra luxury units have a unit area between 510 to 930 meter square and price of more than 4 crores. As the first graph depicts, out of the top 8 cities in India, Ahmedabad has seen maximum year-on-year change in residential sales from the year 2020 to the year 2022, which is 41%. Also, the demand for properties over the price of 1 crore in the city of Ahmedabad has increased significantly post year 2020, reducing the demand supply gap in the year 2020 to the year 2022 from 18% to 8%. This is being depicted in the second graph. The demand drivers identified at both the macro and the micro level are as shown, out of which highlighted ones are the quantitative factors. It could be inferred that the state of Gujarat has seen an increase in purchasing capacity of people and is also investment friendly, and further Ahmedabad has seen the maximum residential sales in the state. The quantitative factors identified have been classified into dependent and independent variables. Carpet area prices, per capita income, and GSDP are the three independent variables, and total residential unit sales is the dependent variable. 8 years data from 2016 to 2023 was taken into consideration, and the data for the independent variables was further projected for 7 years using a arithmetic mean, geometric and incremental increase method, and the mean of them was taken. After the regression analysis, the increase in residential sales per year has been further predicted. The graphs for each variable x1, x2 and x3 with respect to the total residential sales have been shown. The R-square value of 0.94 and p-value of less than 0.05 has been achieved in all the three cases. From the analysis, it could be inferred that the sales velocity is directly proportional to all the independent variables x1, x2 and x3, and the predicted sales for the coming years is increasing significantly, which shows there is increase in demand for such projects in the future. Next up is the location analysis. The main aim of the location analysis is to identify the most promising site as per the scope of the project. The flow of the work goes from selection of zone to macro and then micro analysis, which leads to finalization of the site. The scope of the project is to develop the tallest residential building in the city of Ahmedabad. So, the identified site should be in the residential zone and must follow the tall building norms. As per the order development plan shown, we have three residential zones R1, R2 and R3. And for the tall building construction, the minimum site area requirement is 2500 meter square with a base FSI of minimum 1.2. This FSI limit of more than 1.2 is available only in the R1 and R2 zone. Also, the R1 zone is already densely populated, so adequately sized land parcel is not available. Hence, R2 zone is the most ideal zone for development. For the macro level analysis, three localities in the R2 residential zone were identified as highlighted in the image A, B and C. They were analyzed on the basis of physical infrastructure, social infrastructure, environmental factors, transport facility access, socio-cultural factors and various regulations. As shown in the graph, the total score for each one has been calculated. From the analysis, locality A has been shortlisted as it has the maximum score among the three. Similarly, for the micro-analysis, three sites in the locality A were shortlisted, Site 1, Site 2 and Site 3. They were analyzed based on site-specific conditions, their connectivity, nearby support services, nearby leisure activity spaces and the neighborhood, which is as shown in the graph. The site-specific conditions have the most weightage among all the factors as it includes parameters like site topography, plot size and shape, cost of land and the FSI permissibility there. The total score of site 2 came out to be maximum. Hence, it would be the most ideal site for the project. Next up is the design brief. A design brief is a document outlining project objectives, specifications, constraints, and expectations to guide the design process effectively. It also takes into consideration various norms and guidelines to be followed for effective execution of the design. The main project governing guidelines is the tall building policy, which has been introduced as a part in the CGDCR 2017. It is applicable to all residential, commercial and mixed-use projects with building height greater than 100 meters, building slenderness ratio greater than or equal to 9 and minimum base FSI of 1.2. The minimum criteria includes the width of the abutting road to be greater than 30 meters. If the height of the building is between 100 to 150 meters, then the site area is to be minimum 2500 meters square, and for the height more than 150 meters, it needs to be 3500 square meters. The frontage of the plot should be 50 meters if the road is on one side and 35 meters if the road is present on more than one side. The planning requirements have been divided into different parts based on the scope of the project. It would help in providing better understanding of the guidelines that are to be followed for each. For the architectural planning, the tall building norms, model building bylaws issued by the Ministry of Urban Development 2016, CGDCR 2017 have to be followed and fixed unit size of 4 BHK is to be made. Structural planning has to be done as per the IS codes. and it has to withstand all the wind loads and the earthquake loads. For the MEPF planning, NBC 2016 guidelines are to be followed. All the infrastructure planning is to be done as per the CGDCR 2017. For the interior design, the planning has to be done as per the nature of occupants, age group of the residents, and their social and religious beliefs. Target value design is a construction project management technique that helps in delivering a given design within limitations of both design and associated costs. It has been done in two steps, design D1 and design D2. The area chosen for the TVD deliverable is the cafe and the deck area, which is a part of the common multipurpose area on the first floor of the building that is entirely being dedicated to the common amenities. For the design D1, the process followed is preparation of strategic brief by the client, then design brief and design drawings by the designer, which was further used by the BIM modeler to prepare 3D and calculate the quantity of materials being used, and at last the calculation of cost by the contractor. The floor layout plan of the area along with all the material specifications is as depicted in the image below. The section through the space showing the various building heights and the ceiling design is also given. The 3D views of the area design are as shown. On the basis of this, cost of D1 has been calculated, which has came out to be around 50 lakhs 3249 rupees. The target cost is set, which is 16% less than the achieved cost. For the design D2, the client, designer and the contractor work together with a collaborative approach to arrive at the final design and the target cost. The changes made in the design D1 are change in false ceiling design, false ceiling material, cafe flooring material, deck flooring material, and the type of partition glass used. The floor plan with the revised material specifications and the section with the revised ceiling design is as added. The 3D views of the design D2 are as shown on the bottom of the slide. The final cost achieved after all the changes is 40 lakh 73,359 rupees, which is 18% less than the cost of design D1. This has been achieved without compromising with the overall aesthetics of the space. Coming up to the conclusions, demand analysis has helped in understanding the existing infrastructure and in forecasting future demand for such projects in the city of Ahmedabad. Location analysis has helped in selecting the most ideal location for the project in the city based on various parameters by preparing a matrix giving weightage to each. Design brief has served as a roadmap guiding consultants and stakeholders by outlining project goals, constraints, and the desired outcomes. Target value design is the use of lean methodology for design decision making in order to maximize client value and minimize wastage without compromising with the overall aesthetics. Thank you.